Deck building card games is one of my favorite type of card games that I like to play, and a lot of people tend not to know how these work or what they are. So I decided I want to put a beginner's guide for anyone who wishes to try out this card game genre and see if you enjoy it. Let's check it out. So what is classified as a deck building card game? A deck builder, you start off with a deck of 10 cards, most of it being a form of currency and the other bit being some form of damage or whatever, depending on what game that you're playing. And you want to be able to buy cards from the resource pool and make your deck stronger and more consistent so you can be able to put higher numbers on the board to complete whatever the card game's objective is, either to defeat your opponent or manage to attain a higher score than your opponent. Most deck builders function the same, where you start off with a 5-card hand, you play your hand out as you see fit, make a purchase in a resource area, do any kind of special actions that your game allows you to do, and pass your turn. And when you pass your turn, you take all the cards that are left in your hand, all the cards in your play area, and put them all in discard, and you draw a new hand of 5, then it's your opponent's turn. And you might come across a situation where you don't have no more cards in your deck. You'll take your discard, shuffle it, and that becomes your new deck, and then draw X amount of cards of whatever you need to draw, either to fill your hand up with 5 or you plan to draw one action or something. So you have a trash or scrap function in most deck builders where you can be able to get rid of the cards that you don't need anymore, so your deck will become more consistent and be able to put up higher numbers more frequently. So it's a good way to get rid of them starter cards that you don't need anymore when it comes mid or late game. So you're probably sitting there thinking, how can I put all this into practice? Well, fear not. There's a free download on Steam right now of one of the most basic deck building games out there, and it's actually pretty fun. I've been playing a lot of it myself. It's called Star Realms. Alright, so I got Star Realms on my computer booted up right now. As I mentioned before, this game it has a free version on Steam that you can download and try out, which comes with a couple chapters and campaign. It has where you can play easy, medium, AI, and I believe you can do pass and play on the free version. I don't really remember. But you can also get the full version where you can do online, you get the hard mode and get more chapters than this for $4.99, which is not a bad price. So let's jump into a game and show you how this is played out. As I mentioned before, this is one of the basic forms of deck building games out there. Alright, so I got a game booted up here. And first thing you might notice, I have 3 cards in my hand. In Star Realms, the first player starts off with 3 cards while the other one has 5. And throughout the game, you have 5 each turn. So as you see here, I have these 3, and I got a total of 10 cards. So you have your currency, which is this, which is in this game is called trade, and I got 2 cards that deal damage. And of course, the goal of this game is to reduce your opponent's health or authority to 0. And this is your resource area. You have a very common card here, which is your 2 costs trade, and then you have other cards in here, ships, outposts, etc. And as you see, this is a faction-based game. You have 4 factions in this game. You got a green, which is the Bluff ship, red is Machine Cult, yellow is Star Empire, and the blue, which is Trade Federation. To go over how a card works, let's look at Imperial Fighter, for example. So when you play a card, you get a basic effect right here, which if you play this, you get 2 damage, and your opponent discards a card at the beginning of their turn. Then you have an alliance effect, where if you have another card on the field of this same faction, you get this effect right here. We also have some cards have a scrap effect, so you can scrap this card when you play it on your field to get this effect as well. You don't lose the play effect, because when you play it, it kind of banks it. So you can play this and get 2 gold to trade, and then you can trash it and get 2 damage. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to play my hand out. So I gain 3 trade. I am going to purchase the machine bot so I can start scrapping cards. And I got 1 trade left. I'm going to buy an Imperial Fighter, and I'm going to pass my turn. Then the opponent plays their turn out, and they did 1 damage to me. So my turn, I got 5 cards here, so I'm going to play them out. I got 3 trade, 2 damage, and I'm going to buy another scrap card. And I'll use my attack and end turn. So basically, he's kind of going back and forth. You're obtaining new cards in your deck where you can put up more higher damage in this case. Some cards heal. It's there's a lot of things you can do here. So I want to play this first. So if again, their next turn, they have to discard a card. Play this out for 4. And no, let's stick with Machine Colt. Why not? We got 2 damage. Go on attack. I got 3 more gold. I'm going to buy Explorer and pass turn. Okay, so this is the Trade Federation card. These cards are really good to heal up. Machine Colt, a lot of this does a lot of scrapping, getting rid of cards in your deck. Green does a lot of higher damage, but also you can they have a lot of effects to scrap cards in the resource area. And yellow tends to have a lot of discard effects. So as you see here, my opponent has a outpost. So every turn they get this effect, and then of course they have alliance effect and they have a scrap effect. So any outposts or trade stations, any cards that shape like this, when you play it on your field, it stays. This is a special function for this game. So in this case, I will have to have 4 damage because there's an outpost. I gotta take the outpost out first before I can damage my opponent. So let's play out my turn. I'm going to start off with Supply Bot. I'm going to scrap a Scout. Missile Bot to get rid of another Scout. So that puts me at 6 damage. So I get the +2 from here, and I get 2 damage from him, and then I get both the alliance. So 2, 4, 6 damage. Play the rest of the cards in my hand. And I'm going to buy an Explorer. So I'm going to attack that to destroy it. That puts me at 4, and do 4 to my opponent, and pass turn. Alright, so can I show you what I was talking about with the scrap effect? So I can play this. As you see, I get the 2 gold. So I can go ahead and choose a scrap, and I get the 2 damage. So I keep the gold, and I get the damage. And then I just play out the rest of my cards. I get rid of that. Play that. Play that. And I guess I'll focus on building up trade. Alright, so a couple of turns has passed, and this is what my deck is looking like. So I got 1 starter card left in my hand, and I got 1 in my discard. So as you see, I'm starting to have a lot of color combinations in my hand, so I can have these alliance effects as well as these as well. So let's play out this turn and see what exactly I can do. So we're going to trash a Scout and get rid of that. We can play this to get rid of my last Scout, so all my starter cards are gone. And play these 2 out. See, I threw that down. And we will go ahead and use this scrap effect. Put me at 22. Which we're close of winning. But I don't think we can pull a win unless they just don't have anything. Yeah. So they had 3 exact. Well, actually, my next hand was pretty busted, so I had 4 yellows I could play. So I had a draw card that's +2. Opponent discards 2 cards. I can scrap this to maybe discard 3. So it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11 damage. So you eventually build up a lot of combos, but you just gotta get rid of cards that just don't go in your deck, so you can be able to do a lot more with your game. But yeah, it's just a basic flow of deck builders for anything really, because this is pretty much the basic of deck builders. And like I said, that's a lot of stuff to this game. As you see, I don't got a lot of the DLC. I got this in the Colonial Wars. Just a lot of stuff you can get for this game. Something I'm going to try out later, maybe show off. But this is something I really enjoy, and like I said, deck builders is probably my favorite form of card games. TCGs are fun as well, but I just like this because it's equal in a way, instead of relying on luck and have to purchase all these packs and hope you get the card that you need. But yeah, this has been a deck building tutorial for anybody who wishes to try it out. I hope y'all enjoyed. Johnny D. I'll catch you next time. Peace.